Firefighters, paramedics, and police officers often risk their lives to protect and serve their communities. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm T. Chappelle. But being first on the scene day in and day out takes courage and resilience. But the weight of what they witness can also take a toll on their mental health. Research finds first responders are at a higher risk for developing post-traumatic stress disorder. The symptoms of PTSD can include persistent, frightening flashbacks of events, sleep problems, and feeling detached from everyday life. In some cases, experts say it affects a person's ability to function at work or at home.
The state of Arizona is investing millions into what some believe could be a game changer for struggling first responders. By funding the nation's first clinical trial using whole psilocybin mushrooms to treat PTSD, known for causing hallucinations and psychedelic experiences, researchers also say the drug can help unlock subconscious feelings so they can be processed and overcome.
Reporter Nicole Kreitz takes us inside the only lab in the country authorized by the government to grow this controlled substance. And we do want to warn you, this story discusses the topic of suicide.
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for psilocybin.
Retired Glendale Fire Captain Mark Herman says desperation drove him to find hope for healing.
I was at that point in my life where I was done. Like, I had everything lined out how I was going to leave this place and make sure that I had my family taken care of.
He says it's impossible for acute, repetitive, and chronic trauma
We're constantly in fight or flight.
to not take a toll on you.
We become these dopamine-driven individuals. You finish one call, before you even have time to process that, you're getting another call. I could be calm on the most chaotic scene, but then I would get home and I feel like I was drowning.
For years, first responders and military veterans struggling with PTSD had to go overseas or underground to try psychedelics.
Because the government chose to criminalize all of these like 50 years ago, we haven't had a good opportunity to research these until now.
Dr. Sue Sicily spent 20 years trying to help patients with PTSD before pursuing clinical trials.
I've always felt really gutted about the fact that I could never find good treatments for people.
She runs Scottsdale Research Institute, the only lab in the country cleared by the DEA and FDA to grow these spores for the first trial using whole psilocybin mushrooms, not synthetics.
That this could prove to be a single intervention that could last for months or even years.
More than 50 officers and 280 firefighters have already signed up.
What does it tell you that we're seeing such a long wait list?
We have people that are crying and screaming for help because they're at the end of their rope.
A lot of them are hooked on benzos or sleep aids. So really want to help them find a healthier path.
How can you help people if you have all these issues going on?
This recently retired Valley officer hopes he'll be picked for the trial.
The thought of any sort of help to making me a better parent, a more present husband, I'm excited for, even if it's 5%. I am very hopeful.
We're not showing you his face or using his name because taking hallucinogens, even marijuana, which is legal in Arizona, can be grounds for losing your job in law enforcement.
Everyone always asks, are you okay? And of course you always say yes. There's just too many risks to lose your job if you say, no, I'm not okay.
Dr. Sue says whole mushrooms are already working in the underground. It's where she got the variant for this trial.
This particular strain was a strain that was super popular among the veteran community.
It's a small trial, 3 groups of 8, dosed together with edible chocolates in their separate work groups, police, fire, and military.
Everybody's unique in how they react to it.
Not just 1 pound, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds at a time of mushrooms.
We reported before how local drug task force detectives are seeing a precursor black market boom for mushrooms ahead of this trial. A Valley teen overdosing after buying some off Snapchat.
It's already out there on the street. It's been out there for, gosh, when I was a teenager.
Arizona Senator and Navy veteran Kevin Payne chairs the Public Safety Committee.
I hope that it's a huge success. These people need help.
You didn't just help approve the trial, you pushed to get the funding for it.
That was quite a battle.
2 years ago, he sponsored a bill securing $5 million from the state budget. He's hoping this trial could pave the way to get mushrooms cleared for so-called right-to-try therapy for life-threatening conditions like PTSD and depression.
I would love to see another trial. If this one is successful, I would love to build on that.
You've gone to great lengths to make sure that this is a controlled, safe environment. Are you concerned that those standards might be compromised in a more widespread practical use?
Yes, we have to be really careful that the capitalistic forces don't start taking over. We don't want this to be just an assembly line of people just going through it very mechanically.
It won't stop her from trying to do the right thing.
I hope that it shows that patients are getting some relief and that it's safe.
I show up different as a husband, as a father, as a friend, a son.
Mark will be a dosing monitor and one of 4 trial facilitators guiding patients through the process with a specially trained canine.
When I had my psilocybin experience, literally that day when I came out of that journey, I was a different person.
Now driven by hope instead of desperation, he wants to help others overcome the same burdens behind the badge.
I have a peace and a calm about me now that I don't think I've ever had.
Researchers said trial participants began in January of 2026 with edible chocolates in a controlled environment. They will then be tracked in their respective work and core support groups. Initial findings are expected in May.
We also reached out to AZ Post, the Peace Officer Standards and Training Board in Arizona. They told us while no active officers are allowed to use even recreational marijuana, any other drug with a doctor's prescription is up to the discretion and policy of each individual department. A reminder, if you or a loved one are facing mental health struggles or emotional distress, you can dial 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline anytime. Your conversations are free and confidential.